I'm with all this like OBS stuff.
Okay. You look like you're working.
But like I don't. How do I get this? Can you go on my Twitch? Well, maybe I can go on my Twitch actually. Yeah, like how? Yo, what? Oh, there it is. But how do I get this? How do I layer this? Hmm. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Hmm. Yes. See, like my computer's working so hard.
Yeah, I hear it.
Can you? Oh, fuck. I don't understand why this, like, how do I fit to screen? Okay, so it worked.
Versus YouTube.
I saw Wesley Huff has 2.4 million views on Rogan on YouTube already in one day.
This morning, a massive and deadly wild.
Screw up, screw up. BB Alexis followed me the other day. What do you think BB stands for?
Big Bunny.
Big Bunny. That's a new one. What the heck sauce? Okie dokie. Okay. What are you doing?
I'm ready.
It's breaking the world. Just broke the world. See, but like, here's the thing. I probably couldn't FaceTime you on my computer using my camera and also streaming, right?
I don't know. Probably not.
Like, the camera can only be used for one thing.
Yeah. If even.
Yeah, right. Are you in the proxy story or are you in idea board?
I'm in the proxy story right now.
Can I ask you a question?
Yep.
So, what do we want the Empire soldiers to look like? Like, I'm still confused in, like, how advanced we really are. Like, are they wearing chainmail or are they wearing, like, high-tech armor?
They're wearing weird armor. Magical kind of armor. But it's more like chainmail.
Okay. But it's not magical.
It is what we're picking. It's already like storm-based.
Okay.
Your car? It's in the little box with the other keys. I'll put my dad's calling. Give me a second.
Where are you, Dad? And I'm so sorry, Dad. Cannot dream tonight, Dad. I need somebody and always, Dad. The sick, strange darkness, Dad, comes creeping on, so haunting every time, Dad. Dad, the webs from all the spiders, Dad, catching things and eating their insides, Dad. Like my indecision to call you, Dad, and hear your voice of treason. Stop this thing tonight. Stop this things tonight. Don't waste your time on me. You're already the voice inside my head. Missing you, missing you. Don't waste your time. You're already the voice inside my head. Missing you, missing you. Don't waste your time. You're already the voice inside my head. The voice inside my head. Tostito.
I've added some crazy stuff. I can't wait to tell you this. I want to finish this writing, but I'll actually, let me just read this to you now.
Go for it. Well, let me pull it up real quick to follow along. Where do you want to start? Chapter 2?
Chapter 2.
Okay.
The very beginning.
Do you want to read it?
Yeah. As Malachar laid the crescent mask into the glass table before King Kratos, his shaking, slithering voice approached the king's ears. And I might change approach, that verb, to something else. Like more sinister, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like, I like how I worded that better. My honor, the mission was a success. We have obtained the second Prion. King Kratos gazed at the mask. Upon his head sat the first Prion, the halo of wind and rain. The crown had been brought to Roma through the priesthood, and I might change priesthood, obviously, to like a cooler term, for whatever we're going to name that.
Mm-hmm.
Through the priesthood, at the beginning of Kratos' reign. It was discovered in Beirian, an island off the southwest coast of the world. And I was thinking of calling the main continent, the world.
Mm-hmm.
And that could just be an interesting, twist on things.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of confusing on, are they talking about the whole, is there more to the world? Is there more on this planet?
Right.
Or, because they just call that the world, and the, mountains are right there, so you kind of don't know if, there's something beyond the mountains or whatever. Yeah. It washed up on the southern shores after the storm. Celios, then the head priest of Beirian, set out on the shores all night long. Celios spent his entire life studying Prothean magic. He learned under Raithier, he learned under Raithier when he had come back to be the head priest of Beirian after serving as head priest of Roma for 22 years. Celios had a dream in which he was shown the storm. It was on the basis of this dream that Roma was able to brace itself for this catastrophic event, the likes of which had never before been seen. It was also on the basis of this dream that Celios decided to sit near the sea during the storm. And so then, and that's all I have right now. I'm going to finish this up, of course. But yeah, then I'm going to have it end with Celios died, but upon his head was the crown.
So it's the remains. They came across his remains.
Yeah, he's on the beach.
That's cool.
The next day or whatever.
Isn't Celios what we are calling the demons?
Yes, the demons are Celios. He is Celius.
Celius. How do you spell Celios? Without a U?
It's at the beginning. The Celios. Scelios. The Celios.
Okay.
And it's meant to be very similar.
Okay.
Celius versus Celios.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I tried to, because I had kind of written, the Chapter 4 outline about the start of the raid. Yeah. And, Karn getting captured. I tried to, dive into that a bit and just, describe kind of, the scene. And I'd definitely like to get your input on what you want the soldiers to look like. Because I kind of just threw some things out there and some kind of descriptive stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like this. I actually really like this.
It's
I love the tingling feeling.
yeah, like I'm trying to explain like how do you explain something's magical when it really like doesn't have any magical properties necessarily.
Yes.
Like
This is exactly the this is perfect. This is the exact outline. I love the color choice too. The dark blue is
exactly.
the color I had picked for them to kind of be rocking at the beginning.
Yeah.
It kind of will transfer into black too once Cassius takes over.
Yeah, I like that.
Is my idea. From dark blue to black.
Cause what he takes upon the crescent mask as his like
his item that he bears.
Yeah.
It's such a cool idea. It's so sick. Writing is so hard though, man.
Yeah.
This takes so long. It's so tedious.
And like
and I'm so picky.
Yeah.
I get so
I'm kind of just trying to like get things out there.
Which is perfect. Yeah.
Because I didn't want to put it in a like it's still in the idea board.
Our roles as each of our roles in this.
Mm-hmm.
But man, going through it, like it just takes me back to writing papers in school.
I know.
And the little stuff I get hung up on, like I'm so picky about how things sound.
Definitely.
I'm trying to write with like alliteration too a lot. I really like how alliteration sounds.
Yeah, and well, even just like the describing magical things without them actually like, without saying it.
Exactly.
Because at first, just to get my thoughts down on the paper, I was like, it's imbued with magic, maybe making the armor like indestructible, and then I'm thinking of like lightning and storms. I'm like, and like even I was gonna try to say with like the slits of the helmet, like how it's uncomfortable. I was gonna say like even a drop of rain couldn't like squeeze through the tightness.
I'm thinking that maybe they could be like almost like humid inside, you know? Kind
Okay,
of like
yeah.
a storm.
Yeah. Yeah, because the breathing, like, air doesn't necessarily get out, so it causes, like...
Yep. I think the best way to, I think you've done it the best way in a sense of, like, is, like, from Karn's perspective. You know? Of, like, how he's experiencing it in that moment.
Right.
So
Exactly, yeah. Like, this chapter is kind of Karn because he gets captured. We don't see the Prion being taken.
So, wait a second. The only issue is that I think that when Karn is there, that they're already using the mask. Cassius is now running things. That's his invasion.
You're right. You're right.
So I think it could be like maybe some things are based on the storm magic still, and some things are based on the crescent magic now. I forget. Let me look back at this. Hold up. At the outline.
Well, what if they, like, Yeah,
so here's the deal. Is Malachar with an A or an E? It's an A.
An A.
It's all A's.
It's all A's, yeah.
Yeah, good. I like that better. Cassius bearing... So, Chapter 5 starts with Cassius bearing Kylon's mask, discusses the successful retrieval of the third Prion.
Which is what the ill rings.
Just doing. Sorry?
The third Prion is the ill rings?
Yep, and that's the one that Karn's a part of.
Right. So they, right now, technically, like, could imbue Kylon's mask and Barrow's halo.
This is the coolest thing is that, like, this is so cool because it's, like, on one hand, it's so outwardly, like, magical. Because we have items like the freaking crescent mask and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But then the way it's, like, talked about is so... like metaphorical.
Right. I mean, I think we've agreed that like the people aren't really hip to it.
Yeah.
Just the regular ass people.
Yeah.
Are not really like hip to the fact that like magic is running rampant now.
Yeah. And again, like that's kind of why I like the world thing too.
Yeah, I like that too. It really makes it feel like everything's like not stupid, but like
maybe deceptive or something.
I mean, even like Lord of the Rings is like they have their few lands, but like is it the whole world or is it just like one continent with different like mountains breaking the gaps and stuff, but they don't have the technology to like go farther.
Yep.
That's, I feel like, for me, like, when writing about this, like, I really still don't fully understand, like, where they are when it comes to that kind of stuff. Magic, like, how advanced are they?
So, essentially, when...
Like, does space even matter? Space is, like, does not matter.
Isn't this a beautiful blanket?
Yeah, that's so good.
It's so nice, dude. I'm so happy with how, like, quality it is.
Did you get that?
Yeah, I got that for Christmas for
Nice.
my mom and Davis
That's so good.
as a little combo gift for them. But, okay, yeah, okay, when Kratos takes over as king, that's when the crescent mask is brought, right? Is brought to Roma, which is the capital. And before the crescent mask is brought, it's just medieval times, basically.
Okay, now let me just write this down so that I can go back and remind myself.
Perfect, yep. So that's, like, before the story. And, I'll probably interject, and like I am in chapter 2 right now, kind of talking about, like, the stuff before. But that's the setting there.
Before the halo, you mean? Barros' halo.
The crown. Yep. The crown or the halo or whatever, yep. So, and then, again, and the finding of the halo, right, is, like, Celius, he is a priest.
From the old days?
He's a priest of just the, like, normal priesthood, okay? But he was brought in really young. And he is part of he essentially kind of started / is part of, like, the division that happens in the church. And that gives birth to, like, the bad side of the church. So, the deal is that, and it's going to be kind of based on dreams. And it's kind of going to be why Karn, like, has dreams but doesn't, like, follow them or have time to think about them. And these other people, like, think too much about them in a way. Or focus too much on them or whatever. Or think they're, like, divine. Or being given divine wisdom through them. And so, and like, again, it's kind of a fine line, right? Like, because we're going to say, even in this, like, moment, right? Like, the dream, kind of allows, like, Roma to prepare for the storm, which is kind of akin to, like, the Great Flood in our world. Like, it's the storm there. And, the dream kind of allowed them to prepare for it. But there was another part of the dream where, like, he sees himself, he's going to be guided by Barros in that. And because, again, like, those are the bad angels, and he's going to be taken away with, like, Barros' power and, like, majesty and, like, how majestic he is. And like, and he's going to show him a vision of, like, Barros handing him the crown or whatever during the storm on the ocean front. And so then again, like, that's why he goes out during the storm and he ends up dying. But the crown is, like, placed upon him. And so after he dies, like, Malakar's going to be the one that finds his body. Malakar's going to actually be his student.
Wait. But then this can't have been very long ago.
It's not.
Okay.
Because remember that crown was brought there during Kratos' reign.
Right, but, like, what are these remains? Like, fresh remains?
Huh?
Like, these are fresh remains.
Essentially, like, okay, here, the situation is, like, Celius is part of the church, right? And he tells the, like, main church about his dream, and and the only the part about the dream that the storm is, like, going to happen. And that they should be, like, prepared for something like this. Mm-hmm. And they end up, like, listening and doing that. Malakar is Celius' student. And Celius also like his kind of like Gnosticism in the church or something. Like it's kind of a break off of the thing of the church where they think like that they have some divine power, and that they also, again, it's going to kind of deal with like what we talked about with communicating with the Celios. They're going to be communicating with the Celios and thinking that they can get like good information from these beings that are like fully trying to communicate with them, if that makes sense. And so then Malachar is going to know the plan, the full content of the dream, and maybe a few others, but we don't really have to like talk about that, I don't think. And so the morning after the storm, Malachar goes out to the beach and finds, and to try to find his master, and hoping to like find him there with the halo, and instead he finds him like dead with the halo. And so, but he kind of what to do with it, and that's when he like ends up, and that is what makes him like the head priest of Roma with Kratos.
Okay, I can get behind that.
And so then at that point is when the magic starts to occur. And so the way I kind of want it to be is like technology in our world, right? Like it's kind of explained to people, people have like a general understanding of it, but not really. And maybe some people are kind of like, this is crazy, like magic or something,
Okay. But it's not like our technology. I don't like. You should maybe it's more like religion is better. If we're talking about like medieval times, we shouldn't be talking about like technology. We should be talking about like religion.
Well, we'll use the word magic, but it will be
for like technology, as in like a stick with a fucking rock on the end of it.
Well, I don't know if we'll ever even use either of those words, I guess. I don't know. It'll just be kind of like the way the items are described, or the way things are described.
Right. But the thing is, there is magic, but we just might not say that.
Well,
we hint at it through our descriptive, like, metaphorical...
There are items, even like the crescent mask and the withering ornaments, and, and like...
Right.
Obviously, like, powerful items and stuff. And we are even going to be seeing some of that stuff. I'm not sure exactly how I'll be writing that, but we will be seeing, like, some of that stuff. But the public won't know that, Like, in terms of the public knowledge, and I guess, like, how the... Let me find a good example of, like, a magic thing that happens.
Can I suggest something about Celios? Like, I like what you have, but I think it'd be cool if, like, actually there was, like, in the dark days, like, before any of our story, Celios was this kind of Malachar-like figure who was kind of starting this separation from the goodies, from, like, the priesthood, and then, like, all that stuff's happening with, like, the dreams and Barros, and he's kind of, like, starting this following, and this flood or whatever does happen, and does kill him, and does provide him, like, the halo and everything, but it, like, kind of ends the baddies, like, only really the good priests survive out of that. And then, like, hundreds of years later, where we are now, like, when Malachar was a student, he comes across, like, the journals of this one dude. And then, like, by following those journals, which were, like, in the restricted section of the priesthood library, he, like, finds out where he might have, like, gone to welcome Barros in the storm coming.
The right now is that was what Celios did. And, like, Malachar does that too. Like, Celios did start this whole thing.
Well, that's what I'm suggesting, is that now it's like this new era where actually now Malachar gets the halo.
I want Celios to be Malachar's master, and I want these items to be new to the world as of right now. Like, in a sense. Okay. They're coming right now. Like, the items haven't been around forever. They're like appearing kind of right
Okay.
now. And
Like right now in a span of what? 20,
in a
like
span of
50, 100 years?
50 or 100 years. Yep. And like what this story is essentially, and like I guess this story starts after the first one had already appeared.
But
So that means,
Malachar, who dies from like the storm?
the storm. Yep, not many people. Like some people and Celia.
And like, does it wipe out like towns? Like, how big is it, or is it literally just like a fucking big wave comes and crushes the people at the beach who are waiting for barrels?
It's not a flood. It's just like a crazy storm where like people can't go outside for like days because there's just like crazy lightning and rain and shit. And again, Celius is the way it is like the priesthood has been around for a while, who knows how long. And what they do study is like it's called like Prethean magic. And remember, like the Prethios are like all the angels, So that's kind of why it's like Prethean. It's called like Prethean magic, and that's like old texts, and that's like the old stories where they're getting this like information about these things. But again, like most people are, the priesthood's thing is like you can't worship the Prethios themselves. Like you have to worship whatever. Again, I think we should come up with like a name for God instead of God, but like essentially God. And Celius and probably even Raythear, who's Celius's master, like who teaches Celius. I think that's where the like line is going to start. And I don't know if we'll even talk about that here, or if that would be like a prequel thing to go into. But like that's where that line of like starting to communicate more with these Celios happens, and like knowledge does come from it, and like power, because like Raythear even becomes like head priest of Broma, of like the whole continent or whatever. But then he goes back to Berian, where he's from, at the like end of his, after he has ruled there or whatever, and that's where he trains Celius. And then Celius comes up, prophesizes the storm, and like on the one hand helps people prepare and like limit the damage, but on the other hand like kills himself because he's like kind of power hungry. And like only Malachar and the few others that he was worshiping the Celios with or whatever know about this, and so they are the ones that get his body and get the item right away. And then Malachar, since he's studied this like so long, just like Celius and them, he's the one that's able to like harness the energy, but he knows also like the effect that'll, he probably knows a good bit about it.
He's like the third try. Like the first master tried, failed. Second master tried, got closer than the first master failed.
Yeah, and
So how did these other like prions appear then? Did they also have like big moments?
They did for the individual that got them in a way, if that makes sense. Like the Celios always are communicating with the individuals that get them, but sometimes it's not necessarily.
Yeah, it's kind of right. But I guess like. Right, like he went mad. Okay. So it's kind of random, but like maybe can be forced. Right. Like has Malachar been trying to like his master basically summoned Meros in a way, or like he was destined to like. Is Malachar like trying to summon the other ones? Oh. Yeah, no, I like that.
Even impact the public in order to affect them to like be more likely to want to talk to you, peers or whatever.
Okay, I like that actually. Precious. Samalama lama cookie. Give me a cookie.
I need to rewrite a lot of this though. It's just clunky. The first like 4 or 5 lines are okay, and then it's clunky.
Yeah, no, I hear ya.
Like,
And like, you do you, but don't feel like you need to have a final product. Like, it's just as good right now to get information on the paper. Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
I want to make sure I'm kind of keeping them at least close, sort of close. Man, writing a book is a crazy way to try to entertain someone. You know, just words.
I know.
It's very hard. You have to be very particular about like how it looks and everything, and just reads, how easily it reads and stuff. And like that's very hard. It's hard to keep your information and get that formatting like smooth and stuff. You know, it's such a give and take game. But like and it's really enjoyable. But it's also really tedious.
It is. It's like a word, 1,000. I mean, a picture does say 1,000 words, but at the same time, like words are very precise.
Yeah. Yes, because they're like particular.
Mm-hmm.
So they're freaking you can man, it's so cool. And just like when you combine that with like sentence structure and paragraph structure, even, you know, like, and just think about it on all those levels, it becomes so crazy. And then you're like, okay, I have to cut this, but I want this like information in here. So it's like instead I have to like try to change it or something, and just change just changing one bit affects the whole thing too, you know? Like it has a ripple effect like that. So it just is crazy.
It's literally what I was like.
And I just find myself like hopping in and out of every little like
for sure.
Thing.
Yeah, I'm like, my computer's so fucked up. Well, that's what I'm so excited about, like, language models and AI generating.
That's why I can never get behind it, because it's like, it is not... I don't know how to exactly describe that. It can't do a better job than me.
Well, that's the thing. It's just a tool for you to express differently. When we finish this book, I'm going to input it into ChatGPT and have it like create images and stuff, and see what it like creates based off what we've said.
You're gonna have it create images?
Yeah, or whatever, videos. Like, at that point, it'll literally be able to generate whole movies and stuff. Like,
yeah, I'm just so picky that I'll get so annoyed at certain things that it does wrong.
but that's the thing is, like, that's actually you, I think. It's a user error.
But it's not, I don't think. It's just not a good format for that, like, in a way. Words aren't the best way to create images.
No.
painting is, or whatever, you know? And so,
Well,
just the way it will misrepresent things, and it's the same with, like, writing, you know? It's just, like, writing is writing. People write a book because they couldn't write a summary of the book and say everything that they want to say. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and so that's kind of like chat. Like,
Well, no, but here's the thing. That's why, like, I guess what I'm saying is, like, if I wanted a picture of Karn, I would literally describe every intricate detail of Karn, make up his whole body, cell and everything by cell, and then pop it in an image generator. Because I can't paint, but I can at least describe what I want.
But I even use that for, like, the designs, you know?
Mm-hmm.
The character designs, and, like, they're cool, but it just is still, I'm saying things precisely, and it's not generating what I'm saying.
Okay, that's fair.
You know, like, I'm speaking as precisely saying, I'm saying, like, he has one wing, or he has, like, a crescent mask on, and it's, like, making him have, like, a diamond floating in front of him, or whatever.
I hear what you're saying.
Or I'm saying that he has, like, his wings are only, like, a skeletal structure of wings, and it's just making him have, like, full wings. You know?
I hear what you're saying. I'm just optimistic that it will be able to do it very precise based off words at some point soon.
Yeah, and yeah, I guess, like, for me it's like, you know, ChatGPT, I couldn't say to it, like, write me a paragraph where this happens, you know, and, like, in this style, and, you know, like, I couldn't, there's no way to describe how I, like, write or how I would want it written.
Well, that's the thing. You'd have to describe, like, the whole scene and everything and be like in multiple paragraphs, and then you're like, write that again. Yeah, you just did it yourself, yeah.
Exactly. And so, you know, the thing I really, I guess, like, use it for is, like, on small things, on, like, a very specific thing. You know, like, one.
Yeah, I asked ChatGPT for, like, questions. I ask it, like, questions.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's a better way I can phrase this sentence? Or, like, what's a different word I can use for this? Or what do I mean by this? Like, what am I trying to say here? Or, like, do you understand what I'm trying to say here? And it's like, no, I don't quite understand you. Reader's probably not going to understand me.
Yeah.
No, I think the days of, like, trying to use ChatGPT to write me a whole ass paper is, like, gone. Like, it can do that. We know it can do that. But, like, to the effect you want it to, you have to, like, input so much data, you might as well write a paper already.
Yeah. You're being just as descriptive or whatever.
But, like, what I did with Claire a lot was, like, her professor would, like, give her a couple chapters to, like, write a paper on or something. Write a 1,200 word, like, paper or something. And I would literally input those chapters and, like, other sources that she used into ChatGPT, like, the text of those chapters, and then say write a paper and actually write a, like, she got an A on it, like.
But that's fun for school, but, like, it's not good to me. It's not good to me. It's not good writing. ChatGPT doesn't write well, in my opinion. It writes really, like, it writes like a computer. There's no, like,
Oh, yeah. There's no, like,
continuity or something.
But the thing is, I think it could if you prompted it to. If you gave it the works of Shakespeare, you know, like, if you gave it the works of all these different artists you're like, now write like them. It might be able to capture some form of that. Ex Machina. Ex Machina is gamma. Ex Machina sama. So actually, though, I don't think we really got down to like what I was asking about. Like before Barros's Halo came, it was medieval times, and that was like 50 years ago or something.
That was like 20 years ago.
20.
Well, I guess 30 to 50 about.
And was Kratos already king?
Kratos had just become king when this happens. He had been king for a little bit when this happens. Like, for a year or so. Maybe a little less than a year.
And is Malachar older than Kratos? Or are they like the same age?
Malachar and Kratos are the same generation.
Mm-hmm.
Kratos is actually Kratos is about 10 years older. Because Kratos dies and Malachar stays okay for a while. But Kratos is also drained from the magic.
I kind of like them having like being in the same generation.
I think Malachar is a bit younger. 5 to 7 years younger.
So what was Malachar's like standing when Kratos came to power?
He was a apprentice to Celius in Barian.
But then the crown was found and he was still an apprentice and then he somehow became...
So Celius died in the storm.
Right.
Malachar was the one that found it. He was the one that was most involved with like Celius in the kind of black magic stuff, if you will, that was going on in the priesthood. So he continued to study with that and, kind of was able to understand like power of this and convince like the Barian priesthood that this was like good. And that what they had been doing was like the right thing. So they kind of go like public at that point. And the Barian priesthood like is the only branch out of the like all the kingdoms or whatever that's like corrupt at first, but they start like kind of getting some benefits from this thing or whatever. And like then Kratos summons them there, and that's when Malachar like starts to show him and like gets invited there.
But why would Malachar in the like Barian priesthood give Kratos the Prion, which is like the most powerful object on the world, to this guy?
Give it to him. They are using him to harness this and draining his life force or whatever. Like it causes damage to him.
Ah, so they know not to use it.
Yeah, they know they need like someone.
That definitely needs to be flushed out a bit more.
And it will be in the writing of it. Like, that's the detail part.
Yeah, shuddy, yeah, yada, yeah. Yeah, shuddy, yeah, yada, yeah. Yeah, shuddy, yeah, shuddy. Wait. Oh my god. So that means that Cassius was alive. He was just a baby when this all started.
Not necessarily.
If we're saying this was 20 years before our story started, and Cassius right now is like 23.
Something. Yup. Yeah, that's probably about right.
So it's really just takes place one generation or at the start of the generation.
Yep.
Like Karn would be
One.
Yes.
But also, it doesn't have to start like exactly. It could have been maybe 25 years ago, right? That's not a big difference, and that's before Cassius was born. Like, it could be before Kratos and his wife have had any kids.
I think it matters though.
I think that it's before they've had kids.
So let's say 30 years. I mean, here's the thing: is like this happens once, and then in what span of time do they all drop on the Earth at one time? The Prions.
No. Nope.
So how does that all happen smoothly? Every 5 years, one happens.
No, it's not even a. It's not like a regular thing like that. Again, it's based on people kind of like summoning them in a way.
But just now, all of a sudden, in 20 years, like people have started doing bad things.
Kind of, yeah. And again, it's maybe like, maybe this has happened millions of times before.
Exactly.
This cycle is like ongoing, but we're never gonna like say that.
But then
Again, there's like.
Wouldn't these items exist, or do they disappear?
I think probably they disappeared.
Like when they're all assembled and then they're used, do they disappear and they go shoot out into the cosmos?
Yeah, they disappear.
So yeah, like every couple 100,000 years or whatever, there's a cosmic event that occurs involving these beings.
I don't want to word it like that, but I guess in a way. It's meant to feel more personal than that, kind of,
Well, that's why I like the idea that, like, Celius, he's this guy from basically another generation, like, the Dark Ages, like a different time period, where there was kind of this revolution of, like, the priests, this was trying to happen, and it goes badly, and it's like, it didn't really come to fruition, and there was, like, it halted. And now Malakar's like picking up the pieces many generations later.
That's kind of Raithier in a way. Celios' master, that was head priest of Roma. Like, he's the one that really starts the dark magic stuff, but we don't really talk about that much. Like, that's not where our story is based, But he's like the one that really started it, and that was like, he served as head priest of Roma for 22 years, and like during that time, like the priesthood was flirting with these ideas and stuff. And then the king before Kratos takes the throne and sends Raithier back to Barian and gets the priesthood like back to worshiping God or whatever instead of the Celios. But Braithier continues this tradition in Barian and with taking on Celius as his student. Then Celius emerges, summons the thing, then Malachar takes the halo from his body. Then our story is taking place.
It seems like that's all happening way too quickly, though.
It's meant to happen quickly. And then there's also, on top of that, like, old times. That's what they're studying to figure all this out. But that's, like, not really known or talked about at all. And when it is talked about, it's talked about in terms of, like, the Prethios and the Celios and the Helios.
I don't know. I mean, I like it. I think it'd be cool because if there's none of that, we don't get any, like, history. We don't understand.
I don't want Celius to be from long ago. I want Malachar to have...
But does it really matter? Because he doesn't even exist.
I want Malachar to have a master that was into this before him. Like,
but what if Malachar, he did study under Celius through texts and stuff, and Celius Rythar, or whatever his name is.
I want Malachar to be the one that, like, figures everything out. Like, I want this to be an ongoing thing, that Malachar is, like, the one that kind of is the one channeling it or whatever.
Okay.
As a result of it, but he's part of, like, a tradition.
Ah.
And again, that's, like, you know, that's where the division of the church started and stuff. Like, that's kind of where, really, this whole division started. And at first, it's, like, a church thing, and then it's, like, a political thing.
That's kind of like Star Wars, actually. It's like the Sith, they have this thing called the Rule of Two. And, like, there's all these Jedi, but the Sith decided that the best way for them to, like... They had wars, and there used to be whole civilizations of Sith. But they realized that the best way to, like, stay in secret and, like, really learn the dark side is if there were only two at a time, a master and an apprentice. And, like, the apprentice is always supposed to, like, kill the master and kind of, like, take all his knowledge and go next, and then find an apprentice himself.
Yes.
And so, like, there's always two Sith. And right now it's, like, Malachar and Cassius. A master and an apprentice.
Yes, and yeah, again, like, and Malachar is, like, a part of a big line of that, you know?
Right, exactly. And there's still, like, in Star Wars, the Sith, it's like, the person who, Darth Bane was the person who started the Rule of Two. So only true Sith are, because other people would be like, I'm a Sith, because they go away from, like, the Jedi teachings and become, like, a dark Jedi, and they want to embody, like, the Sith. But the true line of the Sith is Darth Bane's line. It's super fucking cool. And that's what, like, Darth Sidious is, and, like, his master Plagueis. Malachar and Cassius. But Barian, is that still a thing? Is that still like a sect of priesthood, or is Malachar like the only one left?
At this point?
Yeah.
At this point, there's a big division in the church.
Okay.
That started here. So Barian is the first one to like go dark or whatever, and then when Malachar gets like elected as Roma, like a few others join them. A few other priesthoods like start to.
Different sects start, like different towns or whatever start to.
Yeah, and you know the ones in the north essentially stay like true to this. The ones in the south like start to go.
Interesting.
To Malachar's ways.
Interesting. Okay. Come on now. Come on now. So where is the like priesthood? The like good priesthood? Kylos?
Yep.
And I mean, by the end of our story, like, will all of these lands except for Kylos kind of be under Roma's like doctrine?
At some point there will be.
Because like Kylos is nice because it's so isolated.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they can withstand it. What are you thinking about right now?
I'm writing. I'm just trying to rewrite chapter 2 or like fix it up. Add more detail and stuff. I'm writing about like Raythier and that. So Raythier served under King Mathian.
So wait, so you're writing this kind of like lore in chapter 2?
Yes.
Why?
Because I'm explaining the background of the first Prion.
Why does that belong in chapter 2?
Okay. I might move it, but it just will be useful to have. And I think it does belong in chapter 2 because I kind of want to give a quick rundown of the like effect the Halo has and the first Prion has, and just what these Prions are.
Do you want to maybe stick this in the idea board instead so you don't get, like, confused?
No, this is okay to have here.
That's why I like the idea of, like, or maybe it's this, but maybe there's a scene where Malakar's, like, going through some books or a journal, and it's like the journal of Celius.
That's just too, like...
I mean, that to me is showing, not telling, and this seems way much like we're in the middle of a story. Pause. Okay, now to explain how this happened, this is the son of this and this and this.
And that's why I might move this, and I might even put this in the idea board at some point. But right now it just is related to this part.
Gotcha. But we, like, how I would do something to that effect is like Malakar's teaching Cassius about, like, the prions. And then you get a little, like, lore lesson, but it's really Cassius is getting the lesson, but it's for the audience too.
This is just background, I guess, kind of, you know? Like, but that I want the audience to kind of know early on. Because it's, like, just kind of does set the stage of what these things are.
Right,
you know?
for sure. What if
Malachar is,
what if
like,
there's a lesson...
part of?
What if, like, after, in chapter 1, when we see, like, the children, Amarilla and, I guess this is, like, around this scene. Malachar takes Cassius away, or maybe even Kratos is there also, and he gives him, like, a little lesson on what the prions are. Because isn't there a part of this scene where, like...
Yeah, they call him Cassius.
Yeah. To understand, because, like, he's gonna be king one day.
Maybe we can put that in here, but for right now, I'm not really focused on where it fits. I'm more so just focused on, like, sorting it out.
Okay.
You know? But essentially, the way it's gonna work is, like, Raythear became head priest of Roma when King Mathian was ruling, okay? King Mathian is just a guy that just made up.
Like Kratos' grandfather?
No. King Mathian was the king before King Harlian, who's Kratos' father.
That's what I said, his great-grandfather.
But King Harlian is not King Mathian's son. King Harlian took power because King Mathian failed to produce any kids. And part of that is kind of going to be because, like, he was doing this dark magic with Raytheon, but we're not going to really say that.
Okay.
But, like,
cool.
that's, you know, kind of
makes
why.
him, like, infertile.
A tournament was held, and Harlian
Okay.
took control, and then turned away from the magic stuff, and
Right.
that's why Raytheon is banished, like, back to Berean, and that's why the tradition, like,
Stopped.
is there. Kind of stems from there again.
Wait. So was the kingdom Roma, was it starting to go towards, and then this guy didn't have it, and didn't have kids. It was starting to go towards the dark side, didn't have kids. New guy came in, he kind of, like, abandoned the dark stuff.
Yep.
And Raythear or whatever got kind of banished, and then started his own sect. And he's like, we will grow and rise again. And then, like, a couple generations later now, they've kind of made their way back in.
Yep.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And I'm thinking, like, part of me wants to have, like, Raythear wanted to claim, is it Raythear? It's Raythear, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Raythear. Raythear wanted to claim, like, the throne after the death of King Mathian, and King Harlian maybe, like, defeated him in the tournament or whatever for, like, the crown.
Oh, cool. Holy shit.
Yeah, I already texted you.
Blimey. Do you think Celius should be spelled differently? Without the O? Celius, yeah, Celius.
I wrote it like that because I wanted it to be like serious.
Serious,
But
okay.
serious.
I hear ya. Okay.
But it could be cool with just a U. Serious.
Because then that kind of reflects then Celios is iOS. And like Sirius Black is iOS.
Serious. Yeah, let's go with it.
Celius, yeah, that looks kind of cool. I'm gonna have a freaking stroke.
With all these names.
It's just, yeah. I like Wraithyar's cool. How do you spell? I spelled it Rhaethyar.
I spelled it Raetthear.
Wraithyar. Yo, that's crazy. That's like a palindrome. Almost.
Oh, whoa. I didn't realize that. Yeah.
Raethear. Who is Raethiar? Why does that sound familiar? Rhaegar is who I think I'm thinking of. And like Rhaenyra. That's such a fucking Targaryen name. What the heck? Joe Rogan has Mel Gibson on. That's kind of cool. I wonder what he's got to say. He's got a lot of things to say about Hollywood, I bet. I'm going to try to make a phone call real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go actually in like 7 minutes to pick up Davis from school.
Okay, well, we'll guess. I'll wait. Davis is in school? School's about to end? That's wild.